Sorry. Mike was muted. How's it going, Zeems? How's it going? Safwan, Alessandra, how are you doing? Nice to see you guys. I was a little bit late today. Sorry, boys. Balas, how are you doing? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's a lot of news today, guys. There is a lot of news today, so we do need to take that into consideration. I'm going to break down GJ first, and then we're going to get into gold, because gold is what's going to be, you know, the interesting one today. So obviously on the weekly, we are still very bullish. What's looking nice on GJ right now is we formed obviously this weekly support with this last week candle. Now we've created the bottom wick on the new weekly. So if we break this weekly's high, there's a good chance we're going to continue bullish to at least to this level over here at 150, 200, or continue even further to that weekly resistance level. Then we drop down to daily. Still in this range, unfortunately, on GJ, which is not ideal. Obviously, we have all this. We kind of want to get out of that, and once we break that previous weekly high, we will be out of it. So that's even more confirmation that we will continue up. That'll be about this level over here or so. Then we gonna drop down to the 4 hour. Let me just take this way. As you can see, we're ranging on the 4 hour as well. It looks terrible. Yesterday, like I said, guys, we were bullish the whole day, and buys was easy throughout the whole of yesterday. Very easy buys. We are at this strong 4 hour resistance area, which is right here. We can mark that in, and you can see why we're rejecting it right now on this new 4 hour candle, because it is a strong level. It's a top of the range, more or less. So we're expecting that if we do break above there, we can definitely come up towards this sort of area at 151, 153, around there. And sells wise, again, we are bullish on all time frames still, guys. So I'm not looking for any sells on GJ at the moment. We drop down to 1 hour again. This is the 4 hour resistance. It's also the most important and most relevant 1 hour resistance. How's it going, Luke? How are you doing? News wise, guys, we've had the high impact pound news. Good numbers. So this is all coming. CPI doesn't look to have done a huge amount. We just had like this massive spike up, and now we're kind of dropping. But you can see why even during the news we respected this level of resistance. So what we're going to want is obviously a clean break above this resistance. So it's going to look something like this, and then continuation to the level of resistance above this resistance. So we can look for that. If we drop down to a 30-minute time frame, what we can see is that there is another resistance level within the 1 hour clean traffic. So right over here, we need to take that into consideration. So we will keep that marked out as well. Because although we could base the trade on the 1 hour time frame, the clean traffic on the 1 hour time frame, on the 30-minute, that is a resistance level. And we know 30-minute resistance is strong enough to hold. So ideally what you would see then is a close above this level to come back up to this resistance level up here. That's my thoughts on GJ. So potential buys above 157.60, early buys, aggressive buys, and safe buys above 158.41. If you guys have any charts or anything, please do send them in. I'll just be sorting this stuff out quickly. And the reason why I say that these buys are less safe than the buys at the high level, guys, is because of the range. So if we take into consideration the amount of trading range that we have, it's 8 pips. And we all know that like 8 pips is not enough range to trade into, not enough clear range. Whereas if we trade above this level up here, the much safer level, it's 29 pips of clear range. So it's going to be a lot safer. But we'll say potential, we can say potential risky buys. We can hope that volume is basically going to push us through that 30-minute resistance. We also have London Open coming up in 20 minutes, 22 minutes. And I'll put over here potential, or let me just put up here safer buys. because this is the much safer buying level, guys. We don't have to worry about any higher time frame resistances to trade into on the left. Is there some possibility wick fall on the left? Yeah, I was actually just looking at that just now. 841. So yeah, we do have this wick to fill on the left here. As you can see, this 30-minute candle opened about 9 minutes ago. I'd obviously want to see some candle confirmations to fill this wick. It's not the safest trade, but of course, when you have wick fills like this and then you get the lower time frame setups, you can definitely fill the wick. We're also in that bullish market, remember? So filling a nice wick to the top side would make a lot of sense. You just need to find the right candle confirmations for it. Not really my style of trading or how I like to get involved in moves. I prefer to go for like the safer moves, stuff like that. We can obviously mark in the most recent support level as well, guys, just as like a reference. Again, I'm not looking for sells. I'm bullish in market structure on all time frames. Let's just shuffle over to the news here and we can see the storm that we have coming for us later. Okay, CAD news obviously doesn't affect me, but here we have the high impact folders, the USD folders, and this is the proper stuff, the FOMC statements. This is going to have a huge effect, and it always does have a huge effect on gold or any dollar pair. These federal fund rates is going to be highly important as well. So yeah, this is gonna be very, very interesting. It's at quite a late time for me. It's 9 at night, but I'll definitely be on to trade it because historically it has moved the markets a lot. Let's go see gold's situation because this is the pair that it's gonna affect for me. Let's drop to yesterday. We had a very bearish day, guys, on gold. So we have current bearish market structure on the weekly. Our daily, we got a close below this support level on the daily over here. Let me just get this magnet off, but we're at another daily support level over here. So it's quite choppy price action. When it comes to the daily time frame, we're in some pretty strong areas. This support level has been a support level on the daily time frame for quite a while, and it has been respected previously. So if we can break through that, there's a good chance of bearish continuation. We are also coming up to breaking the low of the previous daily low. So take that in mind as well. 4 hour, we're at a 4 hour support, or we're at a 4 hour support level currently. What we want to do is come down to this 4 hour support level over here. So what we need to see is on the lower time frame some candle confirmations. Again, bearish market structure. This was our low point which created the low. We have not exceeded that point. So until we break below here and create a new low, this will be the point which transitions us to bullish. So we'll need a candle close above this level. Daily as well, we are bullish. So this is the only time frame that isn't bearish. This is our high point which created the high. We have not exceeded this point yet. We'll need a daily candle close below this point, and that will transition us to bearish in market structure on the daily. Until then, we are bullish. So I have it as a 3v1. As you can see, we're definitely bullish on the 1 hour. This is still classified as our low because we haven't exceeded the wick yet. And this is the area which created that low. So we'll only be bullish above here. So we're bearish in market structure on the 1 hour. You can see we have nice clean candles below this area on the 1 hour to trade into. And that is also our 4 hour support level, this one over here. So what we can be looking for is a candle close below 1766.49. Once we get this candle close, we can expect a wick back into the zone. Something that looks like this. And then continuation bearish, and we can get involved on the sells down either on the first leg once we cross this leg, or up at these levels once previous support levels have turned to resistance levels. Those are our entry criteria. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. If you guys have any charts or any questions or anything like that, please do send it through. Buys on gold, very risky buys above this level up here. You can see we do have the range. But counter trend. It's about 26 pips of range. So you just need to be wary of that. How's it, Ivy? How are you doing? There is someone at my door, but I'm just gonna ignore that. Any of the guys in the Telegram, if you have any charts, please do send them through. I would like to take a look at some of them, and I can see if any of them need any work or anything like that. So over here we're gonna have potential sells below 1766.49. So this is where we're gonna be looking for sells, guys. Below here. Just came across the channel, finding it very interesting but not understanding it. Don't worry about that. Like, to be honest, this style of trading does require like a little bit of trading experience and that sort of stuff. But by just getting into the live streams and that sort of stuff, you do pick up a lot on the way. If you are interested in trading and want some help in trading, I do offer like some trading content and courses and stuff like that if you're interested. But obviously if you're more interested in the free content, if you just watch this, you'll pick up as you go on the way that basically I trade, and you'll start understanding support and resistance and market structure. It can be very hard for someone who's never like looked at it this way. But I'm glad that you find it interesting. Again, guys, this, like Alessandro said earlier, there is a wick fill idea here where we can fill this wick and then continue bullish. Market structure is very much on our side. Do you have a course? I do have a course. If someone could put that, I'll put the link in the chat for you. Thank you, Zeems. Thank you. Can you teach me one-on-one? If you are part of the advanced course or like the membership course, then you do get one-on-one sessions, yeah, but not the beginners one. All the information is on the website. Sorry guys, I am just going to share the stream link quickly, if you guys don't mind. Telegram is very quiet today. Everyone in the Telegram group. Haven't seen any charts yet. Or trading ideas. How's it, Troy? Morning, morning. Hope you're doing well, bud. Please keep in mind, guys, the market structure on GJ. The bias is very bullish. So if you are planning on taking any sells, just be aware it is counter trend and you can reject at basically any previous resistance or support level. That's how trading counter trend works. Put this over here. On gold, we have a 3v1 bearish structure. So my bias on gold is obviously sells only. And if we go by how the weekly candle is, or the data that the weekly candle is basically showing us, is look how bearish we are. We've broken the previous weekly low, which is always a sign that you're going to probably continue in that direction. And we broke the low yesterday, and we're probably going to come down and fill this weekly wick, especially with all this high impact news later, guys. There's a lot. FOMC in particular. Thanks, Zeems. I've seen your chart. Let me check that out for you. So this is on the 30 minute. Yep, 3v1 bearish market, correct. This is a range that we had marked out last night. So if anyone was looking to take any trades later on, or maybe during the Asian session, there were some very, very easy sells, which you could have hopped into, again, following the market structure, the market bias. And then, yeah, looking for sell continuations below about 1767, about that level. Buys, I'm not too interested in buys, just because of how strong we are in the seller's market. But if you are, you have the confidence of the clean candles to the left here above 1778. So you would just look for the correct candle formations. Those sells happen at 3 a.m. Yeah, so that's Asian market open. High volume time, again, pretty easy sells. You can see here, guys, another way to see that we would have continued bearish. This was a previous support level. We're in a bearish market. We came back up to that level after having a minor pullback. This support turned into resistance. So sell continuations are very likely once you form that resistance at a previous level of support. Same as if you're in an uptrending market and you form some support at a previous level of resistance. So looking something like this, where you have this level of resistance over here, and then it becomes support. Do you think there's a lot of money in trading? Depends what you think a lot of money is. I think that there's good money in trading for sure, yeah. If you know how to do it properly. There's also potential to lose a lot of money in trading. So you just need to have the correct mindset. Coming up still on GJ a little bit. Alessandra, I see you've posted a chart here. Let me check this out. Well, you've actually posted a trade. Yeah, this would be a nice entry, you see, because we've now formed support at a previous level of resistance. When an uptrending market, filling this wick is the idea, I'm assuming, because we chatted about that just now. And we're in this bullish market, yeah. So definitely a nice trade idea on the 5-minute time frame. Again, a little bit, for my liking, a little bit risky, but you know, if you don't take these high risk trades, or not even high risk, just like these lower time frame trades, which is a little bit more risky, sometimes you don't get the reward. But I definitely do see it working out. We've formed this 5-minute support now at a previous level of 5-minute resistance. We've broken the high. Now if we just get this wick down and continuation, we can definitely fill this range, and again, that'll play into the bigger picture of coming up above this level at 157.60. So yeah, very nice trade, and I do have pretty good confidence that it will work out. You might just get this little 5-minute wick down and then continuation, and it might just kind of like shuffle up type thing. I want to see that push in London session, me too. Yeah, so here's your 5-minute bottom wick. Definitely want to see a bullish London push. If we do close on this resistance though at London, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a push down and then we form some support down here, and then we can basically buy back up to the top. Because if we do respect this resistance level, once again, there's a good chance that we continue bearish until we finally get a candle close above this level. But we'll be prepared for all eventualities. Please remember to leave a like on the stream, guys, if you haven't already, and sub if you're not subbed. I would really appreciate that. Yeah, playing out really nicely here, Alessandro. If you ask for it, you want this to break the high of the previous 5-minute candle and then continue to fill this wick, and that'll be a really nice trade. Based on the 5-minute time frame, the wick fill, and the market structure. Gold, we're kind of just waiting for it to come down. As you can see, guys, the way gold's moving right now, this is like typical for pre-news gold. Like on a day that gold has a lot of high impact news, the moves are terrible like pre the news. So you might just get something like this where we range, or we like range down. So entries are very hard. It's basically like a falling washing machine. Or if you're in an uptrending market, like a flying washing machine. Let's hope. I mean, yeah, we're coming up nicely here, so let's hope it carries on that way. Just gonna post this link somewhere else as well, guys. So give me 2 seconds. If you guys do have any more questions or want me to analyze any other pairs, send it through. Yep, GJ looking really nice. If anyone did take the wick 4 buys. My idea is to close half of the trade if price comes below 0.600. So 0.600 would be, let me actually just see your proper position quickly again. So your stop loss is based on the low of this 30. Yeah, so what I would have is something like this. Just if I was going to be basically over managing the trade, this would be a little bit higher. Stop loss is going to be down here. What you can do is obviously mark out lows of 5-minute candles, and then if you're not respecting lows of 5-minute candles, especially after being in profits and things like that, you definitely want to be closing partials. So you want to be closing you know, 50% if you start breaking. Again, this is quite a strict trading rule, but you see, so now that this new 5-minute candle's formed, I would place a line obviously under there and say, okay, if it crosses there and it's not just the down wick, so say we push up and then come down, again, close half. It's just you losing as little as possible. Just a little risk management like technique that I use. But it's good to see that you are interested in managing risk and not just accepting the fact that if price comes down to a stop loss, it is what it is type thing. But you're getting this nice push here now, so it seems like you are almost getting towards that complete wick full. Very nice, very nice. Gold, we need gold to keep on shuffling down. Because at the moment, we're not having too much. Not too much action. Yeah, very nice. You should be up about 7 pips or so now. Maybe 6. Again, very, very good wick full idea on the 30-minute. GU pumping. I haven't actually checked out GU. Let me give it a quick check. Yeah, GU's it's the exact same thing. So it's affected by the exact same news earlier, guys, which was the CPI. The yearly CPI on the pound. So when that came through, obviously it was good news. So the pound value increased, but that's when we got this little just quick impulse push up, and then we retraced. And then basically the next candle is going to continue with the trend. So gold's basically playing on the, I mean not gold, pound USD is playing on the exact same idea of this wick full and the bullish market structure, similar to GJ. But you can see GJ, again, this is quite a strong resistance level, previous resistance level over here, and on the lower time frames it's obviously also going to be resistance levels, so just got to be careful of that. What we could see is for London session, we range in between this again, So we establish a range and then we slowly start getting these pushes up towards here yesterday. Like yesterday. So if we look at yesterday, where did we start yesterday? 14th. So this is where we were looking yesterday on pound yen. We ended up taking, I think it was these buys around here. Yeah, we took these buys over here on stream yesterday, and then you can see we came back down to a previous level of support. We're in the uptrending market. We rejected that and we continued. And then it happened again, previous level of support, rejected that, and this is where I took my second buy of the day. This was just after New York Open. We formed this support, respected the low of the previous candle, and then continued bullish. I am going to be uploading a video to YouTube based on this type of entry. So as you can see, we're in a bullish market. We came down to this level of support here, rejected that. So basically this after pullback, we created a high, had this pullback. The pullback rejected a previous level of support. We respected the previous candle high on the 30-minute. And within this 30-minute candle, there's 5-minute resistance. We broke that, had a place for our stop loss, came up to here and broke through that. Very, very easy entry. Just looking to continue bullish on GJ, to be honest. The way the weekly is setting up as well, we've got our bottom wick. Again, I believe that after forming the support on a previous level of support, and look how many times we've rejected this area and shot up to the top of the range again, it's going to be a very similar idea. We formed support last week on the weekly. If we break this weekly high throughout either the rest of this week, so tomorrow or Friday, or even next week, so let's say we form a bullish weekly candle and we get that bullish continuation, we can easily come up to these levels over here, 152.5 and further. We just got to be aware of obviously the trend and that sort of stuff, guys. So market structure. Daily's looking nice. We just want to get out of this daily range as well. Like this is a terrible, terrible range. And if we can get a close above, let's say even this level over here at 150.841. Sorry, 150.134. 151.134. That will be amazing. If we can get a daily candle close above that, it will confirm to us that we're going to be continuing bullish. I might even then decide to take some long-term buy holds. Just lower my lot size and hold it for a little while to see if we can correct some of this move down which we had on the weekly and the daily a couple of weeks ago. All these moves. So we are at London Open now, guys. Let's see if anything exciting happens. Gold looking not great. GJ has had its wick down. If you purely gonna trade it based on volume, you would expect that it's gonna continue bullish and take entries at the wick up, more or less. So very aggressive entries. I'm personally waiting for it to break through this level over here. Impulse is going to be slightly problematic because of how big the stop loss would be. Stop loss is going to be about 12 pips, which isn't terrible, but after making such a big move already, to get just to this point over here, and without any candle confirmations, there's a good chance that we just reject and come straight back into the range. So if I do take a GJ trade this morning, it'll probably be a lot lower risk, lower the lot size. Just going to be cautious though. You can see we do have pretty clean traffic. We do have a resistance level there. We're coming up now to this resistance level. Again, if you want to, guys, you can wait for a 5-minute candle close at this level, and then basically a very low time frame retest of the zone. If you are interested in taking the impulse entry, you just got to be aware that this is a high volume time. We've had some very high impact news already happen on GJ this morning with this pound news that we had over here, the CPI. So we just need to be aware of that. Got to go. Cheers, Luke. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, have a good day as well. This is what we want. I did take an impulse entry at about this level over here. Kind of just expecting price to push. Only coming back after Christmas. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. Yeah, have a good time with the family. So at this point, guys, if price does come back down to my entry, I'll obviously be trying to manage this trade a little bit. I'm obviously a bit concerned about this rejection level that we have coming up now, as well as price already having pushed quite far. So if we do come down to entry, I'll probably close half of my position. Just going to monitor it on the smaller time frames. This 5 minute obviously closed above this level, which is good. But now we could get a work down and then continuation. You two, all the best. Stay safe. Thank you so much, Luke. Appreciate it. You too. Getting a nice 5 minute push. I'm obviously concerned about this level, guys. 30-minute resistance is definitely strong enough that if we reject it, it basically means that there's a good chance that we come back down. And then when we get to a closer point, then we'll get that close above. Alessandro, for you who took those early entries, this is looking great. I did take a low risk position as well though, guys, because of obviously quite a big move having happened already and such a small range. The clear traffic is essentially only about 8 pips, which isn't ideal at all. So up now about 7 pips. Great trade, yeah. Honestly, it was. Now, if price does come back to my entry, I'll definitely be closing half of the position. I'm also going to probably start trailing my stop loss a little bit. I'm just a bit worried about this rejection area that we're coming up to now. We do seem to be breaking through this area, which is great. It's raining here. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. So I've secured about 90% of my position, guys. I took a much smaller lot than usual. I took a 10 lot. Usually I am about a 15 to 20 lot type of person, but yeah, just there was a little bit of risk to this trade. Obviously, we had pushed quite a lot. It is London Open. It is bullish market structure. So those were some of our confluences. We had the clean candles to the left on the 30 minutes, which was great to see. But again, not a lot of range. So a little bit of range. Let me just reload this. Obviously, now I've moved my stop loss to break even, guys, because that's what we do once we secure some profits. Now we can just let this thing run. So well done to anyone who did take this trade. A special well done to Alessandro, who took the much earlier trade based on the wick fall. And I mean, based on that, you would have been at least up about 20 pips by now, I'd suspect. Check. Yeah, this would have done about 20 pips. The rain is blessing this trade. Truly, truly. And yeah, if you did manage to take the early entries, try let this thing run as long as possible. There is a good chance that we are going to reject this area again. So even if we did get this little breakthrough, we might reject this area once more, come down a little bit, and then only break up later. It's too early for me. Don't stress. There's going to be lots of trading opportunities throughout today. When you have one thing you guys need to know is when you have such a one-sided bias, so one-sided structure, there's always going to be opportunities. A great example is that afternoon trade from yesterday. When such a strong bullish market that all you need to wait for basically is a high to form. So we had that over here. Then you wait for a pullback once you've seen this higher form. And the pullback, if you see it reject at a previous point of possible, or a previous point of support, and that happened again. We came to the support, rejected the support, respected it, and then continued bullish. You're in such a strong bullish time frame, market structure that it's so likely that it will continue. So there's going to be lots of buying opportunities throughout today. It's also looking good on the weekly, guys. Very, very nice on the weekly. Like I said, if we close strong today, strong daily, I might take some long-term buys. Try hold them for maybe throughout the Christmas period. See how high up we can take it. Please remember to leave a like again, guys, on the stream if you haven't already. Gold, straight up rejection at this area again, and gold, because we have this wick to the left, we can reject anywhere in that area. So you just need to be careful of that. Other than that, yeah, only looking for sells on gold, especially below 1766. We got great clean range on the hourly time frame. And let's see on the 30 minutes. Yeah, really nice range to trade into. So going to be focusing on that. We also do have a huge amount of news coming up later, guys. So need to keep that in mind. But yeah, now GJ is kind of just doing its own thing. GU also pushed up at this level of previous resistance right now. So might expect a rejection there if you do trade GU, and then maybe try to see if you can get a pullback down to this previous level of support, and then continuations back up to the highs. That's what I would be looking for. Might look for the exact same thing on GJ, to be honest. Don't feel FOMO, don't worry, don't worry. This is what you can look for later, same as on GJ. Get this push up, and then if we come back down to a level of support over here, just get that buy back up to the highs. I'll be looking for secondary entries at, yeah, probably New York with that idea in mind. Just trading with the trend continuously. But so far, guys, I think we've had 6 or 7 streams so far, and I think we have won a trade in every stream, which is awesome. If we can get a further push up, that'll be great. Secure a little bit extra on the runner. I've 1 lot left in this, guys. How's the run? I secured 9. I have 1 left. Want to see what the next 50-minute candle does? Yeah. I mean, if we get a 15-minute close above this level as well and get that wick down, it's basically a type B on the 15 minutes. You can still see those continuations, but just be aware that at some points in time, we are going to come back down and retest this previous level of resistance and then continue bullish. Just be aware that the retest will come. Nice push. We do want to see a top wick on the 15 as well, guys. Because if we don't get that top wick on the 15, what can happen is 80% of the time we just come back down. But it's looking pretty good. It looks like we're going to close above this 158.41 level and then possible continuation bullish. If we can see 150.134 by the end of the day, that'll be awesome. Nice close on the 15. See if we can get a retest of this zone and continue. You can be expecting a wick down on the 15. Gold not great at the moment. If you guys do have any charts, please send them in. I know I keep asking you, but it is good to get some chart feedback. Runner's still in here, guys, and if you did take this trade, your stop loss should be at break even. Again, playing into the bullish market bias with these buys. Always helps. Trading with the trend. Always. On the 1 hour, it would be nice to see something pretty similar to what happened yesterday with this push up, and then we come back down, let's say either to this level of previous resistance and then continue our bullish run, or we come down to this level of support over here and then continue our bullish run. All you want to see though, guys, is once you've come down to a previous level of resistance or support, is for obviously then some 30-minute support to form, and then within that 30-minute support you'll have the minor time frame confirmations, such as minor time frame resistance and that sort of thing. So if we go to this clean GJ chart, you'll see, where was it? Let me try find this trade from yesterday. It's on the 30 minutes, so right here. We had this bullish push, and then we had a minor pullback, right? So this was our pullback. Once we form the support here and we form the support here, what you can do is then mark out the top of the 30 minutes resistance. 30 minute support, and drop down to low time frames. There's 5 minute resistance within that support. There's also 15 minute resistance within that support. And what that means is we have our support formed, and once we break through that minor resistance, we can retest the highs and create new highs. And as you can see on the next candle, that's exactly what we did. We retested this high at this level over here, created new highs. Then we came down a little bit again, and we just continued that overall bullish trend throughout the evening. So it's just identifying where the optimal entries are. So that's buying basically at a level of support in an uptrending market. Other than that, we're still moving pretty nicely here on GJ. Can't complain. Run is still in. Run at the moment is up about 13 pips. If we can get to 20, I'll probably just close the rest of the position. Like I said, got only about one lot left in here, secured 9. And this was our riskier of the buys, guys. The safer buys were obviously going to be waiting for a candle close above the 150.841 level. Because we were at London Open, we just had that volume and we pushed straight through both levels. So your original position would have looked something like this, where you would have had, if you took the impulse entry, you would have had your entry at about this point, and your stop loss would have been placed below the current 30-minute candle low. That way it's about an 11 pip stop loss, and obviously you would be closing partials if you started going into drawdown to manage that risk. So what this is also doing, guys, is once we get this 30-minute candle close, it changes the area which transitions us to a bearish market on the 30 minutes to this level over here, because we'll have our new high. We look for a 2 candle pullback, 2 or more candle pullback. That would be this level over here. So we transition bearish below this level, meaning then we'll be in a 3v1 buyer's market. So still a strong buyer's market, but there is one time frame which is bearish market structure. That's what you need to look at as well. So when you start creating new highs, you update your levels. So previously, our high was over here, or before this even. This was our high. This would have been the level which transitioned us to bearish in market structure. But now, because we're getting a new high, it's going to be this level over here. The most recent 2 candle pullback. See how we're looking on the 4 hour as well. As you can see, we had the 4 hour clean candles above this level over here, which was also a very strong resistance level. We had rejected it a couple of times. We got that clean break, and now we're basically trying to fill this range to the left over here, this trading range. So again, guys, just if you can, try as much as possible to trade into clean candles. You don't want to be trading into choppy price action. And yeah, at first, identifying where or what clean candles are can be tricky, because you say, oh, which resistance do I use, which support do I use? Start with the most recent ones, and then work your way back. Because it's not always that the most recent supports and resistances are going to be the most relevant ones. But it gives you a gauge of if it's the right area. Getting a nice push again on the runner position. Yeah, like I said, I kind of want to get 20 pips on this runner and then I will probably close out the full thing. Or maybe close out 80% of the runner. But so far looking really nice. As well on the 15 minute, like I said guys, you wanted to get a retest of this zone, maybe on the 15 minutes, because we got the candle close above. So this is a type B Zeems on the 15 minute time frame. You had this close above, wick down, break of the previous 15 minute high, and you have clean candles to the left. The only problem with this is you are literally buying at the high. Whereas when you take these sorts of impulse entries, or where Alessandro bought down here, then you're buying at much lower price points. So this is a much riskier buy above that high. And because it's also a low time frame confirmation, so 15 minutes is obviously not as strong confirmation as the 30 minute time frame, then it's going to be a little bit more risky as well. This 1 hour candle's also pushed quite a lot already, guys. Another reason why this trade made a lot of sense is if you look at the 1 hour resistance level, we obviously had it marked out, but the highest closing 1 hour body was at this level over here. We closed above that. So this is technically the highest closing 1 hour candle. So by closing above this, or in this resistance area over here, wicking down and breaking the high, which was where my entry was, it basically tells us that we are going to continue bullish. Again, looking at candle formations, this 1 hour candle, which is also known as the catalyst candle, because it showed us that there's bullish volume coming into the market, respected the high of the previous 1 hour candle. Then this candle respected the low, respected the low of the previous 1 hour candle. Then this 1 hour candle respected the low of the previous 1 hour candle. So I made a video on catalyst candles, guys, which is on YouTube. It's somewhere on the channel. And this is a great example of what a catalyst candle is. What this shows us is that there's volume coming into the market. It's the pre-London candle. So there's volume in the market, and it's significant that it shows us that there's significant buyers volume. That, as well as us being in this 4v0 bullish market, tells us a lot. Then obviously we had on the 1 hour clean candles to the left to trade into. So good trading range. And closing above this resistance level, not the wicks of the resistance level, but the body resistance level over here, which you can see we got that. Wick down, break of the high, bullish continuation. So I hope that makes sense. So when looking for break and retests on continuous candles, sometimes you don't have to break the complete resistance level, so the complete like high of the resistance. But if you get a higher closing candle than the previous resistance level, so this was our highest closing candle, it was a catalyst candle as well, pre-London candle, and then the new London candle breaks, wicks down and breaks the high, those are all confidences. Trading is literally about probabilities, and what adds to probability is confluences. So if you have obviously all your checks before taking a trade, those are your that's like part of your trading plan, your rules. Which checks do you have? Is it like with the trend? Did it close above resistance? Did it wick down? And you are ticking 80% of those basically trade checks. You have a high confidence trade for yourself. And that means it's also a high probability trade. So that's what you need to, when taking a trade, you need to do your checks before, and that's going to give you your probability. Something very important to look at, guys, is honestly this catalyst candle. We had one last week as well, which I ended up taking a trade on. It was last week, Monday. It basically indicates the direction of price. And with us being in this buyer's market, it shows a lot. So now my runner has been stopped out of break even. But it's fine because I had secured profits, and that's important. Good trade all in all, guys. Explained again. Based more on the 1 hour than anything. And London open. On the 30 minute, what it looks like is an impulse entry. On the 1 hour, what it looks like is what I call a type B, a break of previous resistance, a wick down, and a break of the previous candle high. Remember guys, when candles respect lows of previous candles, what it tells us is seller's pressure is running low. So this candle respecting the low of the previous candle, and this candle was a bearish candle, this candle was a bullish candle, level of support over here, respected it at a level of support, uptrending market. These are the things we need to look at, guys. There's so much to look at before taking a trade that literally tells you where price is going to go. I hope that did help out, like any of that stuff in there. And if you had FOMO and missed a trade, wait for a pullback, support, resistance, retest the highs. There will be another entry today, guys, I promise you. Unless we get some BS news again from British government. If you have any charts, guys, I keep asking you, but please do send them in. Or if you want me to analyze any pairs for you guys as well, if no one has any charts, I'll happily do so. I personally only trade 2 pairs, gold and GJ. What I'll be looking for on gold here is to maybe come up to this point of resistance and then take some buyers back down to the lows. Or what we can do is reject the supports area if we like, which it looks like we're doing now, and then we can also come back down to lows. We are in a bearish market. Please do remember that. Colbs, thank you very much for the sub. Do appreciate it. So as you can see here, we have closed on this previous level of support. If we form resistance at the support level, there's a good chance that we're going to retest lows and then continue and possibly create new lows. Just keep that in mind, guys. So essentially it'll look something like this. And then if we create new lows, we can basically continue this bearish momentum. What you please do need to keep in mind is trading gold on a news day like this can put you in a move, and let's say there's low volume and you're stuck in the move. Up until the point of the news release, there could be huge trouble, big problems. Because no one really knows where this is going to go. If it's good numbers, of course, gold is going to come down. But if it's bad numbers, yeah, can do anything. GJ is definitely the safer pair to be trading today. But gold could be, high risk, high reward. Not really my approach, but yeah. I'd say that the most important piece of gold information today, guys, is the FOMC. This one it can be pretty fun to trade, to be honest. If you want to see historical data, that sort of thing, this is a little bit of news advice if you want to become a good fundamental trader that I always say you must do, is once you have found news events that you want to trade, go look at previous dates that these were released and get an Excel sheet on your computer and literally write down the date and type in there the result of what happened and like analyze all of them, let's say for the past year or past 2 years. And that'll give you an idea of how this news event moves price. By just analyzing historical data, that is how you become a better fundamental trader. There's no point in stepping up to a day like NFP or something like that and just be like, okay, I believe that there's a good chance that it's going to go up or down. You actually need to have a basic understanding. It would be nice if we form some resistance here, respect the high of the previous 30-minute candle, and within this resistance is some minor support, then we can definitely get some sells back down to the lows. This will then be our minor pullback, but we are rejecting this level, which is great to see if we want to continue bearish. But if now we break the high of this 30-minute candle, what you want to see is a rejection then at this level up here to continue bearish. GJ just waiting. The move is done on GJ now, guys. So if anyone is interested in getting buys or anything like that, now is definitely not the time. What you want to wait for is a pullback and then continuation. Harry, I do not know what that is. That's in the chat. So if it's a chart, yeah. GU could be rejecting that area unless we break the high of this candle, then we could just continue our push up to about here. Just remember there is a correlation obviously between GU and GJ because, you know, the pound. No bottom wick on this pound candle. And remember 80 to 90% of candles have a top and a bottom wick, so if you often see a candle just shoot up, there's a good chance that at some stage in the candle's duration, it is going to create either the top or the bottom wick, whichever one it didn't do. If we do get this resistance on the 30-minute form on the on the 30-minute, it'll also look like this on the 1 hour once this 1 hour closes, which is basically a rejection wick at the support level. We are in obviously the bearish market, so let's try to get sells back down to this level. We do need to see that 30-minute resistance, so we can't have this wick down and then break of the high. That's not going to do us any good. So at the moment it's just waiting on gold. But very nice sell possibilities if we get that resistance form, and within that resistance some minor support. Because by getting a higher time frame resistance and a break of minor lower time frame support is a great indicator that we're going to continue bearish. And we want to respect the high of this previous 30-minute candle. We don't want to break it. Just to add to our confidences. Still looking only at trades once we get the pullback on GJ, guys. And then we can assess it from that stage. Please remember to leave a like on the stream, guys, if you haven't already. And sub if you unsubbed. This is a tune. Just waiting at the moment, guys. Not much we can do. More interested in gold at the moment. We have flip bullish on this gold 30-minute candle. And if we break the high, there's a good chance that we could continue to this resistance level over here. But then I'll be looking for resistance to form there. So, two possibilities. This or this. Either form resistance at a previous level of support or resistance at a previous level of resistance. Either or, I'll be happy with. Not looking at all at buys on gold until we get to above. On the 30 it looks choppy, but on the 1 hour it looks a bit better, above 1773. But again, that'll still be a counter trend trade. So there's a lot more clean traffic above this level over here at about 1778, where you could look for possible buy entries. But other than that, Yeah. Still waiting on resistance to form. And then within that resistance, guys, minor support. I know it sounds like a broken record, guys, because I keep saying it, but honestly, that's what trading is. Like, you just gotta, once you get something in your head and you know what you're looking for, that's what you gotta keep telling yourself. Otherwise, you can get tempted and drawn into taking stupid trades. So just wait. Check upcoming news for the week. Obviously today is massive in terms of high impact news. Then tomorrow we got more. Lots of pound news tomorrow. So all of this high impact pound news, official bank rates, predicted numbers are pretty similar to previously, but we know Forex Factory, they do often get these numbers wrong. Also some more dollar news tomorrow. Unemployment claims, PMI, that sort of stuff. So unemployment claims historically has had a decent effect on gold. Need to be cautious of that. We have some low impact yen news, so that shouldn't be too bad. And then on Friday, it seems to be dying down a little bit, the news. We obviously have some medium impact yen news, a little bit of that, and then retail sales for the pound. So nothing too serious. But I would say that it is tomorrow and today that we need to watch out for when it comes to high impact news, because it is quite a lot. So let's just be cautious. GU continuing that bullish push. Gold trying to form resistance. Yeah, otherwise not much happening. Pretty slow day. We took one trade this morning. Let me put that here. Trade one. GJ buys. Nothing special, guys, on GJ. My runner got stopped out at break even, but a winning trade is a winning trade nevertheless. So happy with the outcome. Again, I'll post that on Instagram later, which if you guys don't follow, please do. The link is in the description. The link to the free Telegram is also in the description. If you guys are interested in like trading chat or daily chart analysis, trade ideas, that sort of stuff, and that's all in the free Telegram, which is in the description. GU went straight to my TP but never took the trade. It's alright, at least you know your analysis was correct. If that's where your TP was set, that's what you got to take out of those sort of situations. Let's go to GU. If you can watch a trade in a position where you have literally, you visualize how the trade's going to play out and you know where your TP is going to be and all that sort of stuff, and it ends up hitting it, you can be as happy as if you took that trade because you know that your analysis was correct. And you've had the discipline to not take the trade, which in the long run is going to do a lot more for you than taking a bunch of trades which don't work out. Watching a trade is a lot better than losing a trade. Always remember that. Gold struggling to form this resistance. There obviously is still some buyer's pressure within the market. But yeah. we'll just wait it out. GJ being a little bit interesting. 1 hour is still looking strong bullish, which is great. So hopefully on the next 1 hour we can expect a nice move down and then form some support, or the next couple of 1 hours. So normally what I look to do is, once I've taken a move in a session, I'll look for those in between session times to basically form some nice clean candles or some nice pullbacks, things like that, go down to previous levels of support, or if I'm looking for sells, go up to previous levels of resistance. And then I know if I come back for the NY session, if I want to trade the NY session, then the setup will kind of be there and I know the exact areas which I want to trade into. So what I want to see happen in between London and New York today is a bit of a pullback. So I want to see us come down a little bit to get buys at the optimal entry back up to the top. And then after NY, or just when NY opens or after NY, I want to be seeing us push bullish and create some new highs. Very similar to what happened yesterday. And on the 30-minute, what we are forming really nicely now is clean candles up. So if we can get some clean candles down, essentially or fairly clean candles down, even if we get something like that, and we form support at the support levels, because of our bullish structure, we will be able to find some buy entries at some better prices at lower points. Because taking a buy at these areas over here, you're buying at the high. Very, very risky. How's it, Alan? How are you doing? Missed today's session. What are we looking at? GJ and gold once again. Took GJ buys earlier based on the 1 hour and 30 minutes. London Open went really well. And now what I'm looking at is obviously further sells on gold. We have formed resistance at a previous level of 15-minute resistance on gold. So this is looking to be a nice setup. Let's say we get some weak 15-minute support form here, and then the next candle basically wicks up. If I chose the right thing, next candle wicks up and breaks low. We got this to kind of trade into down here. So just waiting for the setup that I want to see, guys. Some people would obviously be enticed to take sells on the break of this candle low. And to be honest, that could work out, but that's not part of my conferences. I want to see 30-minute resistance form, not just 15-minute resistance. So basically we'll be waiting about another 15 minutes to see what we get here. Telegram is very quiet today. It's looking good on the 15 minutes as well, guys, because now obviously we've had this 15-minute wick up. And then if we break the low here, obviously it could be very early entries, but again, you are running the risk of not a high enough time frame forming resistance. Yeah, it seems that would be a type D entry. You would have your low form here, You would have your resistance form here. The next candle you'd want to see wick up, obviously, and then continue to retest low. That is exactly what I'm looking for. But I want to see resistance form on the 30-minute. We have a nice amount of trading range to trade into here, 17 or so pips, so we don't need to rush it. We just need to be patient. Patience pays in these markets. And if you miss a move, we miss a move. That's just how you got to look at it. GJ is still pushing nicely, even though we didn't form the bottom wick here. We have broken the high of the previous 30 minutes candle, and we have the clean range to trade into on the left. So it makes sense to continue bullish. We'll still be waiting for the pullback later to get some buys back up to the highs though, guys. Did take some buys earlier on GJ. And now looking for some sells on gold. Based on the 30 and 15 minute. Well, not so much the 15 minute, but if we do form some weak 15 minute support, certainly based on more so the 30. Wish you held GJ. Yeah, I wish my runner didn't get stopped out. It would have been up about 25, 30 pips right now. But I'll take the initial position. That's the importance of securing profits, you know. Okay, gold has literally just broken straight through that. So it might just go now. Form some support on the 5 minutes. Early entries would be around now. With safer entries basically waiting for this to form. Seeing though, I didn't look at this before. Okay, this is nice because I did add a small entry. There is 5 minute support within this 15 minute resistance, which is basically like the same as a 30 minute resistance having 15 minute support in it. So there's minor support levels which have been broken, which is what you want to look for. We are also at a level of 15 minute resistance over here, which we have respected, and we're in a downtrending market. Very important to remember. But if you want to play it safe, please do wait for the 30 minute candle close. The problem with that is now our trading range is a lot less than what it was. So aggressive entries would have been below the low over here of this 15, because then essentially that is the break of the 5 minute support as well, remember. How you manage gold is obviously 5 minute candle highs, because if you're in a sell, you look at 5 minute candle highs to manage your trade. And if you're in a buy, you obviously look at the 5 minute candle lows. Really nice push down on gold happening now, which is great to see. Wanting to come down to this level over here. Retest the lows. GJ is still on this bullish push. Expecting 5-minute support, yeah. Gold is still on the push. Not gold. GJ is still on quite a bullish push. So remember guys, if you did miss the GJ push, just wait for a pullback. That is your safest option. Rejection's bad, yeah. Terrible, terrible rejection from this 5-minute area. It shouldn't have a problem coming down to this area, but because it's not really a high volume time for gold, that's why there obviously is a little bit of problem on the lower time frames, because the 5-minute time frame support is not very strong. My psychology is lacking today. Why is that, seems? Did you take did you take the trade? Coming back down on the 15 with this new 5-minute candle. GJ, you closed. So how I think about like closing and that sort of stuff, as soon as you start feeling the urge to close, what you need to start doing is closing partials. So if you feel like, okay, I'm feeling really nervous, I want to close this position, rather close half of it and then leave the other half to run. That way you're taking straight like some of the risk off of the table. Where's one of my trades, TP? It'll come with time, honestly. We've now seemed to be just pushing straight through that 5-minute support. Yeah, just give it time, Zeems, honestly. That just comes with experience. Are you in gold? Took a tiny position. When I came back to my entry, I closed the position. Bit unfortunate, but not worried about it. Definitely catch a move later. If not on gold, definitely on GJ. If anyone else is in gold, it was explained on the 15-minute time frame. Resistance level, same as on the 30. We had a support level, now turned to resistance level in the process. And then obviously we are in this bearish market structure, which at the end of the day is probably the most important aspect of it. Making entries quite easy. We also had this candle respecting the high of the previous candle, forming some support. Within that support, we found ourselves some forming resistance. Forming resistance here. Within this resistance, there's 5-minute support, as you can see over here. We broke through that 5-minute support, and we had clean candles to the left, which would be these over here. Meaning we should retest the lows. The only problem we had was obviously the resistance which we formed was low, a lower time frame resistance, making it not as relevant. If this was a 30-minute setup that you're seeing right now, 90% of the time would always work out. You would come and retest this low. We had a little bit of a store at a 5-minute level of support. You can see over here, this 5-minute candle. This is when I actually ended up closing my trade back at break even when we whipped back up. But yeah, trade made a lot of sense. Was explained basically before. And we want to see it get down to these levels and then continue maybe to create some new lows. But just having some candlestick knowledge about the formations of candles and what that means, such as, you know, respecting highs, then having a 50-minute candle made up of some supports over here, what that means. Because by having this resistance in a downtrending market and then having some minor support within the resistance and breaking that minor support, what it means is there's a good chance that we're going to come down and retest the lows. Just a little way of like working out where you can find entries. We have about another 15 minutes to 15 or 30 minutes, guys. So if you do have any questions, anything like that, just please do ask or send anything. It is chilled. Want to see gold continue. Obviously the added confidence on gold was the previous 15-minute level of resistance and respecting that. That adds quite a lot of probability to the trade that price will continue bearish. The range wasn't great. We had about 17 pips and we've done about 12 of those. New 1 hour candle on the way up. And again, we had 1 hour support here. We rejected that 1 hour support. Obviously, we do have the news later on gold. So if anyone's looking to capitalize or knows how to trade fundamentally, then you can find yourself some nice opportunities. New 1 hour candle. This 1 hour candle closed very strong bullish. Can possibly get bullish continuation or finally get that pullback and then continue. So pull back to a level like here and then continue bullish, or pull back to a level down here and then continue. Obviously pulling down, the further we pull down, the more range we're going to have to come back up, which is always a little bit better. And by maintaining bullish market structure, you can then classify that as a pullback rather than a flip of trend. So if we do something like this and we close below this area, then we have flipped trend, because then we've closed below the 2 candle pullback, which created this new high, and that would be trend flipping bearish, right? Structure flipping bearish on the 1 hour. It's a 30-minute area as well. Whereas if we just get this and we respect that area, we maintain that bullish market structure, and it makes it a lot easier to continue with the buys back up to the top. That's your way of getting the best entries for buys, rather than trying to get some, you know, crumbs at the top here by trying to take buys now because you've missed the original move. Don't try and do that. Wait for the pullback. Obviously, if we then start breaking structure, you always have to break the lower time frame structures before you can start breaking the higher time frame structures, which means that this could be the start of a great move down. But because of how the weekly is set out at the moment, we are coming up to quite a strong weekly area where we have this weekly rejection wick, and if we can break that after wicking down, again, I'll be looking for some long-term buys up to this area over here on the weekly. So gold, there was some scalp sells to this level over here. We are either currently wicking up on the latest 30-minute candle to continue bearish, or we are just going to have, you know, another pullback up to a previous level of resistance and then continue bearish because of the trend. If we can form some weak support over here and then break the low of that weak support, could get bearish continuation as well. Because there's not a lot happening setup wise, guys, I think I'll probably call it a day in about 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes. And then I won't be live on YouTube for NY session. Crumb sounds about right. I always used to buy at the top or sell at the bottom, pretty much the move. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what Crumbs is. is buying tops, selling bottoms after a massive move. But I'm glad that it's helping. Like I said, with FOMO, so one of the biggest things that causes we can call it crumb hunting, right? So when you look for these crumbs, so let's say taking a buy at the break of this candle high, because essentially a lot of people would have bought here, and you would have only done 8 pips, and then price comes back down. So instead of having that FOMO of trying to buy at the high over here, wait for it to just pull back, and because you now understand how structure works, or have a better understanding of structure, you know you're in a bullish market, and that if we have a pullback, we're probably going to retest the high that we pulled back from. Buy the dip once you form some, or once you have some confirmations, correct. So basically you come down, the pullback, or you could call that the dip, and then form some supports in an uptrending market, or if you're in a downtrending market, a upward pullback, form some resistance, and then buy back down to lows. There are of course places where you can buy at break of candle highs, like a good example was on the 1 hour here. This would have been buying at the high more or less, but we had the candle confirmations to do so. We had the catalyst candle, which was the pre-London candle. That was a 930 candle, and then the new and that closed above this resistance level. The new 30-minute candle wicked down, broke the high of the previous, the new 1 hour candle wicked down, broke the high of the previous 1 hour candle. We had clean candles to the left, as you can see here, and we continued bullish. So now what I'm actually hoping for right now is a bit of a bearish run to get this pullback that we want, so that we can buy up later during NY. That'll be ideal. Gold could start to establish a range on gold until news. Sometimes gold does that before a big news event, is it'll range for a while and then continue. You're live daily. I stream, Monday to Friday, London session every day. So about 9:30 to 11:30 South African time, so 7:30 GMT. So far not a bad day, guys. Try to take some gold sells, which would have worked out if I held my position, but I closed at break even when we came back after rejecting this 5-minute support level over here. On this candle, when we came back to entry, I closed the position. So no loss, no harm really caused, just a little bit of commission, obviously. Other than that, took this GJ buy, got 11 pips out of it. The runner could have secured at about 15 around there, but then came back to entry, so stopped my runner out at entry. The final move ended up doing about 20 odd pips, so yeah, not a bad day. Pretty happy with it. Of course, I'm going to be trading NY session later, and there is, if you guys have been here for a while, I've gone through all this stuff already. The FOMC, funds rate, federal funds rate, and then tomorrow we obviously have the very high impact GJ news, or pound news, which is going to affect GJ, like the official bank rate. So we do need to be very wary of that sort of stuff, guys. Could also be forming a pullback on GU by the looks of it. Got about five or so minutes left, guys. So if you do have any last questions, get them in. And if you aren't already part of the free Telegram and all that sort of stuff, guys, all the links are in the description. All that stuff is free. Telegram, Instagram, all of that. The website information is linked in there as well. And remember to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already before we go. Gold is a mess, yeah, it seems. It's not great right now. We kind of, if this was on the 30-minute time frame, it would have been an ideal move, honestly. So many confidences to that trade. Just the wrong time frame for my liking. Best potential sells, guys, by the way, are still going to be below this level down here. The amount of clean range that we have to trade into at this level is great. As you can see here, all these clean candles, a lot of range, with structure. Now all you need to do is wait for the correct entry. So you need to have your checklist, you need to have your confirmation list, and once you get those candle confirmations and that sort of stuff, finding an entry should be easy. It's with the trend. It should not be difficult. Got trend with us, got the clean candles. All we need to wait for is candle formations. That is all. Gonna move this. Yeah, no real buy opportunities on gold for now, guys. If you want to see the buy opportunities, let's wait for some structure to flip. On the 30 minutes and the 1 hour, that's not going to happen for a very long time, so it's gonna take a while. Streaming an NY session, probably only members, and maybe a members call for the NY session. A lot of the members have been away recently though, so if it's only like 1 or 2, then it's a little bit. I'll put it on the members forum though, if anyone is available. And then maybe Thursday and Friday I will do an NY session actual stream on YouTube, if any of you guys would be interested in that. I can put it on Instagram and stuff as well and see if anyone would be interested. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just stick to the normal times. Need a bigger pullback on GG, guys. We need to come back down to a previous level of resistance or previous level of support, and then we can buy back up to the top. So before we head off there, guys, let's just do a quick recap on the structure of each pair. 4v0 buyers market that we are in GJ right now, meaning the buyer's pressure on GJ is a lot more than the seller's pressure. So anyone looking to take a counter trend sell, once we see some candle formations on GJ, like, be careful, because there's a good chance that we reject at areas of previous resistance or support. Even if we have the clean candles all the way down to the support level, we can reject before that at these sorts of levels. So be careful of that. That's the importance of structure. So only be looking for buys. So what I would be waiting for, again, this sorry, I've said this like 5 times already, is a pullback and then a buyback up to the top and then new highs to be created. That's what I'm looking for on GJ. On gold, I'm either going to wait for the news or I'm going to trade some sells below this level over here. I'm not interested in buys at all. So please be careful. The trend on gold is obviously bearish. We're trending bearish. You look at the weekly, how strong bearish we are. Look at the daily candles. They are also bearish. So only be looking for sells unless obviously we get some of the buy moves during gold. Other than that, I won't be looking for any buys personally. We're getting this pullback on the 1 hour. We could end up getting something like this, where we come up to this 1 hour resistance level and then come back down towards the lows here and eventually get into this safer selling zone. GJ, yeah, pound had good news this morning. The whole week we have been bullish in market structure. So there is no need to look for sells, guys, honestly, on GJ. And even if you do see a little bit of a bearish run, be aware that it is most likely going to push bullish again because of market structure. So yeah, sells on gold throughout the day and maybe tomorrow, just also depending on news tonight. News can sway a lot of things. Very high impact news, please be aware of that. This is tomorrow, this is tonight, and GJ buys on GJ. So those are the only two things I'm looking at, guys. I hope we all have a great day. I will be live again tomorrow, same time. Trade safely for the rest of the day for anyone who's going to be taking trades. Zeem says, today the markets humbled me. It's just one of those days. As long as you manage risk, you will be completely fine and ready to go either this afternoon or tomorrow. But I will chat to you, Zeems, on WhatsApp and stuff. But yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thanks everyone for being in the stream. Please remember to like if you haven't already, and subscribe if you aren't already subbed. And yeah, I appreciate all the support, guys. And those on Telegram, I will be posting some stuff in Telegram and chatting to you guys there. So yeah, I'll chat to you throughout the day. But thanks again, guys, for the support, and I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Cheers.